Welcome back to my channel, Pretty Inspired Decor. My name is Shelley and today I'm going to make a lantern for our child's Christmas family room. So I'm going to show you what I've already pre-prepared for this lantern. So this lantern is loaded up already. And so you'll notice what's in there. I have a Santa that says Noel. I have a little elf hanging. I have some, pitberry garland in there. I have some snow and that sort of thing. I've also got some lights already inside of the garland so that, it works nicely in the evening. Everything that, with the exception of the ribbon, everything that is inside of this lantern, I already owned. So I decided I'm going to try, other than buying the actual lantern, I'm going to try not to buy anything else for this particular project. So what are some of the things that you need if you're going to make a lantern like the one I'm going to show you today? So I have 4 different types of ribbon. And they're all Christmas themed. This one ribbon is actually wider than the other 3, but that's okay for me because I think it's pretty, and I actually like to work with ribbons that have maybe at least 1 or 2 of them have a different width than the other 3 do. I also use zip ties. That's what I call them anyway. And you'll notice I have a variety of different colors of zip ties, and that'll be how I'll show you how I've actually put some of my picks together with the zip ties. It just makes it so much easier. So you need that. You need 4 different types of ribbon. I'm going to do a 16 loop funky bow. I call it Arlene's Funky Bow because that's where I learned it from Arlene's Cozy Country Corner. And what I've done, ultimately the bow will be attached to this. There's a variety of picks. There's this one here that's multicolored with some of the limey green and the red. I have this fun one here, and then I have some red in the front. So there's a total of, there's 2 of the limey green and the red, so there's 2, 3, 4 on each side. Now this may end up being a little bit too big. I won't know until I put it on, and I may have to actually shorten things up, but I'll sort that out later. Right now I'm going to start with this size, mainly because it's going in, this lantern is going in a tray that's very, very large on my family room coffee table. You will need some inexpensive pitberry garland. I got this dollar store for $2. And you'll notice I cut a piece of it off, and that's actually inside of this particular lantern. So I've woven it inside among the ornaments. You will also need a few different ornaments. Some of them are inside, and my plan right now is to actually attach these 2 little fun things, a little boot for a little elf hat or a little Santa hat, to the ribbon. And then I have a few of these little tiny wooden bells that I may be putting on as well. I haven't decided for sure if I'm going to do that, but that's my plan right now. You'll need some wire cutters. You'll need some good scissors. That's how I cut the actual ribbon. And I also have some shears because some of my ribbon frays, and so I actually do use these pinking shears so that my ribbon doesn't fray. So that's another thing that you might want to make sure you have. I also asked my husband, and he always has blocks of wood, because I wanted to raise the ornament, the Noel ornament up. I just covered that with some of this snow that we have a lot of if you take a look behind me, and if you watched my very first video on how I decorate a mantle, you'll notice that we've already made some changes, because that's kind of what we do. So we've just fluffed this up and added more of this snow. Initially we just sort of had like this white blankety snow, but it wasn't very dimensional, and we decided we needed to, you know, sort of puff that up. So I put that inside of the lantern as well at the bottom, so that it looks like Santa is in snow. We live in Canada. We have a lot of snow here. So the first thing you're going to do when you create your funky bow is you're going to cut 4 26-inch pieces of ribbon per ribbon. So you end up with a total of 16 ribbons. And once you have those all cut, and once you have them in the pattern that you want to make your bow, you'll have to dovetail the ends. So I've already prepared, you know, the dovetailing on the vast majority. I'm going to show you how I dovetail. So I just take the ribbon, and I usually do it in, you know, in 2 or 3 of them. I put them together. Then I take the corner where the wired ribbon is, and I highly recommend you use wired ribbon, just because the bow will stand up better if you use wired ribbon. I'm going to use regular scissors because this particular ribbon does not fray. And then you go from where the wire is, you fold the ribbon in half, and then you just cut upwards. And voila, you have a dovetailed end. And you go to the other side, you fold them together. I like to put, you know, the wired side closest to me, keep them together, and cut. Like, how easy is that? And you end up with perfectly dovetailed ribbon ends. I also have another ribbon that's 42 inches long, and I'll use that to actually tie the ribbon on the funky bow onto the lantern, but I'll get to that at the end. I just want to show you that that's already been pre-cut as well. So to get started, you begin your pattern by taking whatever ribbon you want to start with first. So I'll start with my lime green and white and red and darker green polka dotted ribbon. I'm going to do 8-inch. I just think 8-inch might be nicer. And do that. Okay, because I want this to be quite a large bow. So you take your ribbon, all right, and then you've got them all going, you've got it going up, and then you take the ribbon that's at the back and you twist it forward so that you end up with both of your tails, the good side of your ribbon, coming forward. Then you take the next ribbon in your pattern. This particular ribbon happens to be double-sided ribbon, but I'm going to pretend like none of them are, because I want you to always remember what to do so that it doesn't, so that you can use single-sided ribbon. So first of all, I got to get it right in half before I twist my ribbon. So you bend it, you put it together, you fluff it out a little bit, you take your ribbons, you make sure they're both facing forward so that your ends all work together. Then you take the next in your pattern, you put it in half, you measure down to the 8-inch, and you put that one in your pattern. And again, you fluff it out. You know, again, my hands are small, but I can make it work, so anybody can make this work. And you twist your ribbon so that everything faces forward. Okay, that's the critical part in making these bows, is that everything faces forward. Then you take your last ribbon, and this is not two-sided, so that's why we're going to make sure it works. And again, you fold it in half, you measure to 8 inches, you pinch it together, You put that together as well. Fluff it out a little bit, and then you take your back ribbon and twist it to the front so that all of your ribbons look like they are front facing forward, almost like little soldiers all facing forward. Then you're going to repeat the pattern and you're going to actually put your loops on the bottom. So again, I'm going to go to my green polka dotted ribbon. I'm going to bend it in half. I'll put this at the front, and then you turn the ribbon to make sure that it is facing forward so that the polka dotted side is what you're seeing. Okay? Obviously I'm doing a little bit, backwards for me, but it's right for the way you see it. Then the next thing you do again is you take the next piece of ribbon in the pattern and put it in half again, or approximately in half. And you measure to 8 inches, and you're going to take this one and it's going to go down as well. Go down in the pattern. Down there, fluff it out a little bit. You ultimately have to do a lot of fluffing of this ribbon. So again, I have to twist this one forward so that you see the same side of the tails. Go to the next one on your pattern. Measure again. That's always the thing, right? Measure, measure, measure. You're going to put this one going down, just like the other ones were going down. Put it in your fingers. You're going to twist to make sure that this faces forward, like that one faces forward. And you're probably thinking, holy, how do you keep all that in your hands? Well, it's not easy, especially if you have small hands, but again, it's doable. The first time I did it, I thought, how am I going to get all that in my one hand? But where there's a will, there's certainly a way. So once again, you want to make sure that your tails are facing forward. Then your next ribbon, so those ones are all down, these ones are going to be all up. So the next 4 will go all up. So this is going to be quite the bow when it's all done. It's going to be nice and full and pretty. So again, we're going to start going up again. You get that in there and twist to make sure that the printed side is facing forward. I'm the first to admit it's easier if you use double-sided ribbon. So you just flip them around, and again, watch your fingers. You can get them in there. Fold. Again, go to the 8-inch mark. This again is going up. Don't worry that everything is in the exact same spot, because you are going to be fluffing this ribbon and making it look really, fun when you're done. Okay, again, you're going to twist to make sure that's forward so that you always have everything forward. Again, watch your fingers so that you're holding everything well. Okay, that's the key, holding everything well. Bend it in half again. Isn't this fun? I get quite a kick out of doing this, actually. So the last pattern, the last 4, again, you're going to measure your ribbon. You're going to pinch. This time you're going to go down. Okay, you got lots of ribbon here, lots and lots of ribbon. So you're going to go down. You're going to hold on to it. You're going to take the ribbon that's not facing forward. You're going to flip it so that it is facing forward. Okay, flip it to face forward. Then you're going to take your last plain red. You're going to put it in half. Flip that forward, and again, all of these are going down. Put that together, and you're going to flip, and you're going to make sure that all of that good stuff is facing forward. my last Merry Christmas. Again, you know, watch her at about the 8-inch mark. You're going to go down again, down again. And again, you're going to take this, you're going to flip it so that you always see the side that you want to see. And of course, when I do it myself, I have it facing me so I can see it better, but you need to see what I'm doing. So it's not quite as easy. So it's easier when you're doing it yourself because you're not trying to do something for a camera. Once again, you're going to take your last one, you're going to put the bow down. I'll put it in here. Again, it doesn't matter where you put it. It really doesn't. As long as you have 4 up, 4 down, 4 up, 4 down, it works. It really works. Okay, you're going to turn that out. You're going to turn that out. Now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take a pipe cleaner. So you're going to say, holy, look at that, Shell. Look at all that ribbon in your hand. How is that ultimately all going to turn out properly? Well, you take a simple, handy dandy pipe cleaner, and I take it and through half of the ribbon this way. I bring it around. Try to make sure all of my tails are sort of out. Okay, I take that ribbon and I pull it, or that pipe cleaner, and I pull it really, really tight, and then I twist and turn the ribbon. I twist and turn the ribbon. Uh-oh, I had one fall out entirely. Who cares? That doesn't matter. I can get that in just a moment. Just quickly take this one and fold it in half again. I can see where it came across. See, that's what happens when you have small hands. It's, you know, sometimes stuff happens, but again, it doesn't matter because you can make it work by now popping it back in. Don't panic. There's no point in panicking. So you have your bow, and that's what it looks like initially, till you get in there and you fluff all of your loops. You really have to fluff, 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 fluff. Take a look at your ends to make sure that they're all where you want them to be, and you go and you just fluff. That's why you want to use wired ribbon, because if you're not using wired ribbon, nothing will fluff properly. And that all works beautifully together. Beautifully together. All right, I don't cut my my pipe cleaners. I don't cut them at all, because if I cut them, then I can't hang any ornaments or something if that's what I decide I'm going to do. So that is the beginning of your funky bow. I have fluffed, I have poofed, I have made sure everything is facing the correct direction. The reason why I signed off for just a second is because I needed to look at it from the front, and I didn't want you to have to watch me do all of that fluffing, because you really didn't need to watch all of that fluffing. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your large ribbon, and yes, you're going to put it down like that, and some of it will defluff. And you're going to, and I take this and I put it into my pipe cleaner like that, okay? And then I twist that on with the pipe cleaner as well, okay? Then what I do is I take my lantern, which is here. Okay, you'll notice I have some of the wire hanging out of my lantern at the top. I'm ultimately going to weave that into my bow so that my bow lights up as well. So just kind of pull that over here. So again, if you take a peek here, you'll be able to see everything I have in there. I have a little truck. Well, I'm sure you're wondering why I suddenly have a different shirt on and why my funky bow is attached to my swag. So let me give you a little explanation before I move on. So when we were videotaping this yesterday, my phone rang, and so I guess we inadvertently shut the video off. Not that we answered the phone, but anyway, when I went to do my editing last night, the last part of the video was gone. So I thought, oh, wonder what that's all about. Well, my husband and I laughed and laughed and laughed, and I thought, well, what am I going to do? And whatever, and I went to bed last night thinking, oh, maybe I just won't even do this video. But I knew I had talked about it in the third video, so I thought I better do something with it. So here we are, back on track. And so I'm going to just show you what I've done. I'm going to flip this around, and you'll notice what I have done. I have connected the actual bow to the swags on either end, the pit berries and the other fun things that I've put together. I have also, if you take a peek, you'll see I've added an ornament on one side, another ornament on the bottom, a couple of little tiny wooden bells up in here. You can see them. And I have my ribbon attached to the back. So I don't think you need me to go through all of that again. I mean, really all you do is attach it to your ribbon and tie it on. And then of course I've got my lights ready to string through my ribbon as well. You will see that what I try to do is you try to put the handle part of the lantern up before I actually tie the bow on. And I'm going to turn this around so you can see better what I'm doing. And then really, I mean, if you can tie a bow, you can finish the rest of it off, because it is obviously quite simple. I just simply tie the bow. And you'll notice yesterday I had actually dovetailed these ends after I tied the bow, so they're already dovetailed. Make sure your good side of the ribbon is up. Again, this one doesn't matter because it's double-sided ribbon, but I always work with ribbon, you know, like it isn't double-sided, especially if I'm trying to show somebody what to do. So you just tie a pretty little bow, and there you got your dovetailed ribbons on the end, okay? Then what you do is, the hope is that this thing will stay up, and it should. It should. Let me take a quick peek at the front of this. Yeah, pretty much everything stayed fluffed, and all my ends are good. I'm very happy with all of my ends. So you'll notice how this looks. Then I take the little pieces of lights. You'll notice I've got a string here and another string here. And because I want this whole thing to light up and be, you know, pretty and festive and fun, and have it lit up when people come down here. You know, we do a lot of entertaining over the Christmas season. And if you've watched any of my fall videos, you know that cooking is not my favorite thing to do, but that I really do like to entertain. I guess I have a theory that, you know, if everything looks good, maybe they won't notice the food so much. You know, some of my friends even think I'm a pretty decent cook, which is hilarious because I'm not, but I believe it's because everything looks good, so they can, you know, pretend that they're having a decent meal while we're just having a good time together. There it is. There it is. I'll turn it on. See how pretty that is? I'm also going to take this and I'm going to put it where it's going to go. You haven't seen this yet, what I've created for this to stand on. So this actually goes in this large tray. Remember this large tray from the fall? Remember I said I like to repurpose everything. I had this really cool little plaque that a friend of mine named Kelly gave me, so I thought that'd be kind of cool to to have that sort of stand out. It's pretty, eh? Notice I've got my little elf sitting on a little cupcake stand, and then you just have him sit, so he's a little bit elevated. I've got some candles behind and a few bells inside. I think I like it. I hope you do too. I want to talk a little bit about my friend Melissa. When I was mulling all of this over in my head last night, I kept hearing Melissa's words, and that would be, she would say to me, Shelley, just relax, figure out a way to fix it, and just move on. Because Melissa was always a cheerleader, always somebody who saw the positive or found a way to make it positive. And you know what? I realized she's right. I don't have to scrap the whole thing. I can just put this piece on the end. My guess is all of you will get a kick out of it. Some of you maybe just kept laughing all the way through the end of this, and that's okay. Anyway, our next video is on this entire space. We're going to do a family room tour, and our plan is to videotape that tomorrow morning, and I'll try to have it up soon. If you have not already done so, please hit subscribe. If you've not already done so, hit that notification bell so that you can get notification of my future videos. Again, I'm going to have a whole host of them. And if you want to share it with your friends and ask them to subscribe, that would be good. Remember, I told you last time I'm looking for 100 subscribers by Christmas. I'm at 36 now. And of course, if you want to leave me a comment, including if you want to, have a bit of a giggle about me having to piece together 2 videos because we inadvertently shut one off, I'm good with that too. Until we see each other again, bye-bye.